happy Tuesday, my non-existent viewers. It is Turtle Tuesday, and I just bought my ticket to see Bad Guys 2. I'm about to jump into the theater to see it. It's like 10:46, 10:47. I don't usually go to movies this early in the day on Tuesday, but I figured I might as well go see a movie earlier in the day and then get back on time, get back home on time so I can, watch the upcoming, the season 4 episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I'm going to review later today. But anyways, yeah, I figured I could just give my expectations on the film before going in to see it. I haven't done one of these kind of movie reviews in a while. Not allowed to couple it with like my Turtle Tuesday episodes, but I digress. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Bad Guys 2. The first Bad Guys that came out back in 2022, I think is kind of an underrated gem in Dreamworks' canon. Like, 2022 was a great year for Dreamworks movies. We had the Bad Guys and the super goated Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, like, later that year. And yeah, I feel like with Dreamworks, they do their sequels and adaptations like way better than Disney does. Like, so I'm like, and I've seen the trailers. It looks like, obviously I think Sam Rockwell's reprising his role as Mr. Wolf, and like, the original voice actors from the first film have come back. And yeah, just from the trailers, it looks like it's gonna be more zany, crazy fun. Without further ado, let's do this. All right, well, I just got home from seeing the Bad Guys 2, and I gotta say, overall, I was not disappointed at all. This film delivered. It very much did, but I will say this. It's my only, big issue or, just flaw that I noticed with the film. I'm going to start calling this thing called the Force Awakens syndrome. You guys remember way back in 2015 when, Star Wars The Force Awakens was released, and there was receiving loads of praise while at the same time getting a lot of criticism for being too much of a retread of the first Star Wars film, A New Hope, in terms of, narrative and, plot points and, different things that happened throughout the film, noticing similarities. I will say this. The Bad Guys 2 does have its fair share of, maybe I'm going crazy, maybe it was just a me thing, but I noticed a lot of seen it before feel from the first film. I feel like in terms of plot, both the Bad Guys and this new sequel, have rather similar plot beats. They're the bad guys, and once again, Sam Rockwell reprises his role as Wolf, and everyone from the first film comes back to reprise their roles. He had Mark Maron as the Snake, Aquafina as Webbs the Tarantula, Craig Robinson as Mr. Shark, Anthony Ramos as the Piranha, and Zazie Beetz as the Fox Governor from the first film, and Lois Griffin from Family Guy, her voice actress, reprises her role as the super hothead commissioner. Yeah, once again, fantastic voice acting from all the cast, and from the new cast as well. We got a Kitty Cat, and we have the Pigtail, and Snake's girlfriend, the bird, which is is she? I'm not sure. Is she a crow or a raven? I'm not as brushed on my birds as I am on my mammals, so but it's I saw the trailer, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, the snake is eating her face, which is the reptilian version of kissing. It's a snake has a girlfriend with a bird, but then again, it's birds are these weird interspecies cartoon animal relationships you see in movies and TV shows. It's but then again, birds are descended from dinosaurs, right? Birds are technically reptiles because of that, because dinosaurs, reptiles, and so are lizards and snakes, but I digress. Yeah, I will say, back to what I said earlier about plot beats. The Bad Guys, the first film, it was them, going from criminals and these expert heist men to, having to redeem themselves, become good guys, right? Well, the second film picks up where the first one left off, where it's yeah, the bad guys aren't bad anymore, but they're still struggling to, fit into society and look for jobs and just, put aside their criminal past. But then Kitty Cat and her band of bad girls shows up and, takes them in for one last heist, and they agree to it. So, yeah, I will say this, throughout the film, I was there's just some things that we've already seen before. The humor especially, I think, there were plenty of moments throughout, this film that I was chuckling, but not to the same laughter degree that I had from the first film. But aside from that, I think this, what I'm calling it, Force Awakens syndrome, I think is actually simultaneously the film's biggest weakness and its biggest strength. Because, like I said, fantastic voice acting, superb animation. I know the whole bean mouth
the bean mouth like character design that we've seen in like a lot of Pixar films, especially in recent years, as well as like other animated films. People haven't exactly been thrilled at. Personally, I don't have a problem with bean-shaped mouth characters, or, you know, because it's like, hey, it's animation. Animation is not supposed to be like super realistic anyway, so I think it fits the premise. I mean, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I didn't mind it personally. But yeah, the animation, like the stunts, the choreography, the cinematography, and the color palette all throughout the film, especially during the heist scene. I think all the heist scenes throughout The Bad Guys 2 were definitely the best parts of the film, and I think that's what the film was mostly focusing on, were the heists and the characters just doing these crazy antics with a lot of heartfelt moment to it. There in some ways, like, one of my issues that, like, the only, like, issue I kind of had in the first film was, like, its use of genre cliches. But this is actually one thing that, like, The Bad Guys 2 does better than its predecessor, is that it doesn't retread as much on genre cliches, and also, like, just is in a weird sense, like, again, something this film has in common with its first film is that it's difficult to talk about both Bad Guys films without spoiling them. So yeah, that just gives you further reason to see it in theaters. And yeah, I think it was refreshing to see, like, you know, this film not doing particular things that other animated films have been very guilty of for a very, not just in recent years, but for a long time now, honestly. And like I said, it does seem like they're setting it up for a third film, which I hear, you know, because the last Dreamworks film we got was Dogman back in January, and I heard that, like, Dreamworks, you know, that the animation studio that made Dogman actually went bankrupt and closed. So I really hope DreamWorks gets their act together so they don't close down more animation departments, because the idea of being in a world with no more DreamWorks, if DreamWorks dies and goes the way that Blue Sky did, that scares the hell out of me. So if you're a fan of DreamWorks films, especially if you were a fan of the first Bad Guys film like I was, I definitely suggest going out to theaters to see Bad Guys 2. I'm giving it a 7 out of 9 stars. It's a really likable film. Now, on to the Turtles. Okay, so I am like halfway through episode 11, Revenge of the Triceratons, right now, and like Mozart, the captain of the Triceratons, and his comrades have attacked the turtles. You know, they want vengeance, right? And they unleash the Skevix virus onto the turtles and knocked out Fugitoid in the process. One thing that kind of caught my attention already is how that one other Triceraton is like telling Mozart, but sir, it's like illegal in over 2,000 systems, and Mozart's like, just do it. I touched base on this, I think, in like last episode, or like 2 episodes ago, actually. 2 parts ago with this series I've been doing, right? With when we meet that other like friendly Triceraton, the Gladiator Pit episode, right? And yeah, we see like there is like a division amongst, I guess, like personalities with Triceratons. So yeah, they are definitely like the main antagonists of the show now, but it's not like they're all just one-dimensional bad guys. Like there is, like, you know, that one Triceraton hesitates before unleashing the virus onto the turtles, and like the episode starts with like Donnie being like, you know, Fugitoid's lab assistant, right? And the Fugitoid is like, hey, like, it's not your fault that you don't know as much about, like, you know, physics. You're 3,000 years behind since you grew up on Earth. And Donnie's like, oh my gosh, I'm an intergalactic idiot. Oh wait, hold on. Speaking of Donnie and him calling himself an intergalactic idiot, and Professor being all like, oh, nonsense, Donatello. It's like, okay, so, oh man, I don't will be able to go bed for like a few minutes. So, and it's like the other turtles still look up to him because he's the genius. I guess I don't know. And Donnie's frustrated because he doesn't know. And he's all like, oh, the ship is awesomely complex, and he's not as smart as a professor, okay? I just built stuff out of junk and crank parts. Okay, and Raphael's giving him some encouraging words, like, hey, you're smart enough to build Metalhead. Oh, the little our little buddy Metalhead. So it's like, it's funny because this is kind of like a reoccurring theme, like, you know, Raphael controlling his anger, and like Donnie, you know, with him feeling insecure about being, like, you know, the nerd of the group. Like, whether it's his unrequited feelings for April, or in this instance where he thinks he doesn't know as much as the professor does, it's like, I will admit this, a lot of my anger comes from times where I feel unintelligent or not as like smart as others. Because, you know, as someone who's on the autistic spectrum, I grew up with like needing special needs accommodations my entire life, and I still have a lot of like challenges, like, you know, ever since I graduated from college, you know, and like going through dog daycare jobs and zoo internships and my last like zoo job that ended a month ago here in Columbus. It's like, oh, the Skivic virus is now the xenomorph. It looks like a xenomorph. I just want to say, I love the Alien and Aliens vibe of this episode. But anyways, yeah. There were a lot of times where I felt really self-conscious about feeling like less intelligent than others because I have a hard time with like time management, or I take too long to like clean things, whether it's like play equipment in dog daycare rooms or like gorilla exhibits like here at the zoo. And there are times where people want me to get things done faster, and I'm just like, I'm so just like, there are just times where I feel like there were times where like, this is how I relate to Donnie right now, where there have been times where I just like have viciously called myself an idiot, just like how Donnie just did, right? While the Fugitoid is like, hey, nonsense, Donatello. It's like, here's the thing. It's like, yeah, there have been times where I feel like I'm not doing as, or I'm just like, where I feel unintelligent compared to others, but then like, I tell myself that, right? But then I share that like feeling with others, like whether it be like zookeepers I've met or Dogtopia managers or like my coworkers or friends or whatever else. Like, no, Vitas, like, you're actually really smart because I know so much about animals and things. In conclusion to this weird tangent, you know, they took out the TV and now the ship is dark. Yeah, people are their own worst critics, right? And, you know, Donnie's kind of down on himself for not like, for being you know, like, oh, hey, Fugitoid, thank goodness my brain was in stasis. So like, literally, there you go. So like, just like something that I've been practicing or trying to be better at practicing at least is that if it's too mean to say to someone else, don't say it to yourself either. Okay, so I just got done with episode 11. Now we are on to episode 12. And it is called The Evil of Drag. Drag, 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 drag. And Mikey has important news. I'm at the point where Mikey's what now? Hold on. Okay, so the Hollow simulator is repaired, and Mikey's Pepperoni Pizza Land theme park simulation is almost complete. Of course, Mikey and the pizza. But yeah, episode 11 was really great, and unfortunately, the Triceratons got the black hole generator pieces back from the turtles. But if it were Donnie's genius, they'd all be dead. Like, Mozart would have toasted them all. So it's thanks to Donnie's genius that the Fugitoid is now even better than before with his spare parts. And Fugitoid is like Bear hugging Donnie or Robo hugging Donnie. He's clenching Donnie with his loving embrace. Or he was, I should say. Now we're on to episode 12, The Evil of Drag. Oh, it's Mona Lisa. They were attacked. Commander Gathraka has been captured. Armagon. Oh, it's the shark guy. Alien King Shark from Suicide Squad is attacking once again. Oh no. Okay, so I just had to rewind for a little bit. Like, I'm almost halfway done with this episode. And, like, where Lord Dreg basically puts them all into the cages, right? And Mona just betrayed Raphael and the turtles by luring them straight to Armagon and Lord Dreg. And, like, this is literally the biggest, like, what the frick moment of the entire show since the season 3 finale, when Shredder kills Splinter and the Earth gets destroyed in the black hole generator. Like, really, you give Raphael a love interest only for her to betray him? Man, come on, boy, Raph, a break. He's like, and now Leo's being captured by the giant bug things. And yeah, and now they're gonna fight the the alien bugs with Casey trying to break out of the jail, and it's like jeez, I feel so bad for Raph because Mona brought out such a tender side in him because he's always like the angry one, the hothead, and yet like he finally. I just feel like Mona gave him like a really decent opportunity for character development. Oh man, now he's going down like a chump. This is jeez. This is one thing that like I would definitely be concerned about if there's ever like a zombie apocalypse or this like I've talked about this before in this series and I'll say it again here. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise has a lot of post-apocalyptic wasteland scenario potential, whether it's mutants or aliens or whatever else, or the Foot Clan. Because how would you like it if we lived in a Walking Dead sort of world, but replace all the zombies with like with the Ninja Turtles and various mutants from the Ninja Turtles franchise, and both mutant humans and the Foot Clan as like Mad Max sort of like raiders, right? And the Triceratons and the Krang. In a post-apocalyptic world, that would just be that's a post-apocalyptic scenario I'd like to see. It's bringing an army of salamandrians as we speak. Nobody messes with Donatello. Oh, poor Donnie, he got stung in the face earlier in the episode, and now it's like, he's all gunky. Like one of those like really bad like pimple popping videos. Oh, jeez, they cured the sting of a Zax bee, alien insects. Another thing. I'd like to, this is really more of a nitpick than anything else, but it's like, all the aliens in this show speak English instead of, like, built-in alien language, or through clicks, or, like, various, like, weird alien noises. They didn't make, like, they just have all the aliens speaking English, right? I'm just wondering, I understand why they didn't do, make, a language like Na'vi for Avatar, or Elvish for Lord of the Rings. Like, that would be way too, complicated, because this is a show for kids, right? And you're going to need subtitles for alien languages, and kids are going to have a hard time keeping up with that. So, yeah, I understand why they did it, but I just think it would be cool if they did. That's all. Alright, so I just got done watching episode 12. It turns out the Mona and the other salamander guy regrets betraying the turtles and, helps them, escape from Dreg's lair. Then Dreg chases them, and then, Raphael's, really pissed at Mona for everything, and then, she helps, she and the salamander guy, they make their last stand against the insects. They go on without us, we'll hold them off as long as we can. Then she says, I love you to Raph, and the turtles are like, I know that look, because Raph's like, she said she loves me, and they all start charging to the fray, just slicing and dicing all of the giant bug thingy monster attack guys. Yes, I can't speak tonight. And yeah, and then Raphael, this had to be some, I'm convinced that had to been some nightmare fuel for some, kids in the 2010s, when Raphael stabs the back of Dreg's head and he just vomits out a whole bunch of, bugs, bug vomit, essentially, and then kicks off Lord Dreg's head and you see his robotic head. Oh my gosh, that must have been brutal for some kids when I was, because I was, in middle school when this show was released. Oh, man. Those were some times I'm very glad they're over. But yeah, and then the episode ends with Raph and Mona kissing again and earning the turtles forgiveness. But it's both really great episodes. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Oh man, and for those of you who follow me on Instagram, I'm wearing this new American Idiot shirt that I got recently today because it's been 1 year since I saw I went to my third Green Day concert 1 year ago with Rancid and Smashing Pumpkins, since Billy Corgan was at the Back to the Beginning concert for Ozzy's final performance. May he rest in peace. I'm going to draw a picture of Billy Corgan, a pet dinosaur of some kind. Yes. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.